Walk down the street of any city, any afternoon, and look around you. What you got to remember is what you're looking at is also you. You could be that person. You could be that monster. You could be that cop. And you have to decide in yourself not to be.
What's up, YouTube? What's up, cousins? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we have my little brother Lawrence, and today we're going to talk about mental health. Lawrence, first and foremost, I want to say thank you for coming onto my channel and talking about your story. Stories like yours are very important to tell because you never know the lives that it may affect. So let's get started. You ready? All right.
So, can you start off by telling us, a little bit about yourself? What's your name, your age, and where you're from?
My name is Lawrence Taylor. I'm from the South Side of Chicago, specifically West Chatham. I'm 20 years old, turning 21 this year, becoming a junior at Loyola University. My major is criminal justice, so I'm on a pre-law track, but I'm also have interest in film and fashion. So I would think that the way I felt as a child probably is different. The way that family members would say I was as a child. To me personally, I feel like I was pretty confident, outgoing a little bit, in my own circle, my own way. Obviously to some family members, it was they would tell the story of me being a shy kid, not opening up too much and just being in my own space and being introverted. And I just feel like to me personally, I just feel like as a child I was very ambitious in a way, and that my worldview was always different than the way of the norm, I would say. I feel like from an early age, I always feel like I was different. In hindsight, I always felt like I was aiming for the moon instead of trying to be on Earth. So that's really what I would say as a child. I was just always trying to do something to make myself better than the next person, or to make myself be viewed as highly.
How hard is it to get an honest, vulnerable conversation going in the Black community about mental health and mental illness?
If it's a private conversation, it's not hard at all. Brothers and sisters are always, spilling their hearts out to each other. Publicly, it might be a little bit tougher, just simply because when we wake up in the morning, we got to worry about just surviving, as human beings in this country. We had a term called hardcore, where, you had to walk around, keep your chest out, keep your chin up. You couldn't portray any type of vulnerabilities, any type of weakness, because if you did, you might be fooled out here.
Emotionally growing up, I feel like as a child, I don't know if I really had the space. Personally, that I feel that I didn't have the space to really express myself, or to really go in depth with my emotions, or to really feel my emotions and be in connection with it. Because I feel that I feel like for a lot of children, especially Black children, we're I guess taught to be older or have a more mature mindset from an early age. That's something that I also notice in studying criminal justice. They say that all the time, that many Black kids are often perceived as older than, at the age of 5, they're all treated as adults. And I feel that in my personal life as a child, I kind of see those patterns. I think you always are taught to be obviously, even just being a man, you have those same toxic masculinity traits about you can't do certain things like cry. Why are you crying as a boy? Or why do you feel pain as a boy? You know what I mean? You gotta hide those issues. So I feel just in that sense, emotionally, growing up, it wasn't a safe environment to really express yourself in any kind of way, other than the way that you're taught to be by society. I think dealing with the issues that I just explained about, not feeling emotionally safe or able to express yourself the way that you should be allowed to. I think that affected my mindset or my mentality growing up as being more guarded and feeling feeling there's nobody to really lean on besides yourself sometimes. And I feel like it just makes you internalize a lot of things. It makes you feel more inclined to just get away from the world. And obviously me being a person that's naturally a person that's guarded, and actually a person that just want to be around people that I really, feel safe around. Feeling like you don't have that with your family or anybody else makes you see the world in a different light than, the normal average kid probably would. I don't know, I just feel that maybe the environment that I grew up in shapes me to the man I am today and the issues that I have today that I obviously had to unlearn. So yeah. I feel like those things did make me higher my emotions. I feel like, obviously also I did football. So football also just reiterated what you heard from, even your friends, like, because they're also growing up in the same type of environment that I'm growing up in. So we all have the same ideology. So not only are your friends picking on you if you do something like you get hurt, you get a scrape on your knee, you start crying, or like you sprain your ankle, you start crying. But also at football, like growing up in that environment, it's like a thing where you're almost still being taught and being forced to be guarded and be this hard shell of a man. The ideal man to many people is that somebody that just like takes no BS and just has no emotion and just always serious. And I think just growing up in football and growing up as a child, it just always just made me seek that idea, like made me chase that ideology. Still today, I still chase that idea of a man because I feel like that's what a man is supposed to be. So
I didn't know what depression really was. I always just brushed it off. That's how I grew up. I just brushed off my feelings, and it got the best of me. It was a year ago where I had thought about taking my life. Life happens to everyone. I'm human, just like everyone else. Just because I play this beautiful game, just doesn't mean life is not gonna happen to me too. I just wanted to encourage everyone to seek help if you're down and you're depressed, and just try to get help. It's okay to talk to someone, seek help. You're not too tough to talk to someone, So growing up, I just kind of brushed off my feelings and I buried it. You don't need to do that, man. I just wanted to put out a positive message that I'm still here, I'm still growing, I'm still learning, I'm blessed. I got a lot of things to be grateful for, and someone was there for me. So reach out to the loved ones and ask them how they're doing and listen to them, because it's important.
I do feel like whether it's from family or myself, I feel that I always had the need to want to be seen or want to be the best. And so I think naturally, feeling like I'm already outcasted or already in the shadow, I feel that football was my way of like being seen by not only just, my family or myself, but to the world. Like I wanted to be viewed by society as somebody of importance. And I think that football was my outlet of doing that at first. And I think just the way that even the coaches talk sometimes about you having to be proving yourself, or like, sometimes even when you are at practice, sometimes they highlight different kids and you want to be the one that they highlight. You want to be the one that they champion, and you want to have that favoritism from anybody. So you just want to be heard and seen in all aspects of life. And I think that trauma still sticks with me today. Yeah, I do feel like my struggle with mental health is permanent. I feel like it's gonna last. It was there then. It's gonna last for a lifetime. And I think that each day is just a constant battle of me versus me, which is a cliche saying, but it's the truth. You know what I mean? Like some days you wake up in a rut and you gotta will your way out of it. And to the average person or somebody that's not dealing with mental health, I can see the differences in my life and the way I view things and the way they view things. So I do feel like I am a person that really does struggle with mental health. For me, my mental health is in a place of where I guess it's like, I don't know, it just makes me feel indifferent some days. Some days you really just don't give a damn about life or the meaning of it or like the joy of it. It's just like an up and down roller coaster with me, I feel like. Like some days I could be in a mind space of I'm ready to conquer the world and ready to achieve all the goals that I have and be very ambitious. And then some days it's like, what would any of that even like do for me? Like, is it really even worth it? Or is this pain that I'm going through, the trial and tribulations, even worth the end goal? And I just feel like mental health affects me in just like being a person that can just see the light in the world or see the meaning in life. Because sometimes I feel like it get jaded, Well, I think just having different resources, like I had a therapist at one point, even during school. I had a situation at school where I had a mental health crisis. And so that basically got me kickstarted with a therapist there. And like, I feel that me being in therapy, and then I wouldn't say it made my problems go away, but it made me face them head on instead of like running away from them like I was trying to do. And instead of like going back to what I said earlier about feeling that you have nobody to be there for you, feeling like you have to, suppress your emotions and like keep it to yourself and just, I guess, what is it called? Self-wound yourself, or self-bandage. There's other people out there that can help you get through it. And I think that, therapy is a really good outlook for me. Like, I found myself actually like seeing the purpose of my life and seeing the purpose of my pain and like being able to use it instead of like make me feel like less than. I made it to where it's like I'm proud of it. You know what I mean? So I think now I'm just dealing with therapy and just also just day by day, even outside of therapy, just within myself, trying to figure out how can I make myself better, how can I love myself more,
You're always kind of advocating for black men to seek, help when it comes to the mental health and therapy. Why do you feel like for black people in general were always scared to seek that?
Man, it's multifactorial, man. There's so many things in that. Let's just start with black people. With black people, there's a historic mistrust of medical systems. You don't know if you go and see a therapist and you tell them that I've been having some thoughts where I don't feel too good, I feel like I may harm myself. You don't know if you'll be institutionalized. You don't know if there'll be a stigma put on your name. You don't know what's going to happen after. For black men, it's a little different. I can only speak to my experience. And the funny thing is, when I was in grad school trying to become a therapist, I realized once I graduated, I've never seen a therapy session outside the one that I was in. A lot of people, they don't get to see therapy in action. They don't know the way it looks. They don't know the way it works. They don't know what's going to be expected of them. And black men have a history of just challenges around vulnerability, self-expression, emotional expression. Our environment don't always invite us to be that. So you mean to tell me I don't know the way this joint looks? I'm gonna walk into this office, I'm gonna talk to this stranger about things that I carry deep inside. Some I notice in myself, some I don't. I'm gonna tell them all this stuff. I'm gonna tell them all my secrets and just gonna trust that they're not gonna make me feel worse about it. I feel like that's a big ask.
I think it's just the fight for myself, basically. I don't think it's like anything of like I said, I don't think therapy for me is like where I feel like it's solving my issues. Like, that's a common misconception I think people have, is that you're gonna go to therapy and they're gonna fix your problems. When in general, therapy is just like anything else. If you really want it, let's say for a person that wanna do a weight loss journey or wanna gain muscle, like bodybuilding. Like, you don't just go to the gym one day or like feel that like you're supposed to lose all that weight. Obviously, it's not gonna happen overnight. So more so, it's like you gotta keep going just to train your mind to get in a place of being happy, or get your mind in a place of like, when you have those bad thoughts, because those bad thoughts are gonna come back, and bad days are gonna happen regardless, like it's inevitable. But it's for those days when you have those things, it gives you the tool to be able to fight it, to be able to combat it. And I feel like that's what therapy has done for me. It's like I said, like, it made me realize that, damn, I'm able to fight these negative suicidal thoughts, and I'm able to realize that, no, that's too extreme for what I'm going through or what I really feel. Like, that's just like an extreme way of me trying to get out of the issues I have instead of just facing the challenges. And that's why I feel like keeps me going back to therapy, is just realizing that it's me versus me. Like, if I want to be a better person, I got also people that depend on me, people that love me. I got to be there for them. So it starts with being there for myself and showing up every day. I think some things I'm learning to let go of is, actually, if I'm being honest, I feel like I still struggle with some of the issues that I feel I've always struggled with, which is going back to what we talked about earlier about feeling like you have to be the best to be seen and be heard. I think while yes, it's natural for me naturally, like I said, as a child, I've always been ambitious. I think I do have that need to be perfect. I guess me feeling like I'm never good enough makes me chase perfection, and I think I still struggle with that even today. Like I said earlier, we was taking pictures today, and while I didn't have like social anxiety while taking the pictures, I do feel like I was critiquing myself after seeing the pictures, like, damn, maybe like I'm not big enough that this shirt looks good on me, or that maybe I should have posted because it doesn't look the same way it would look on somebody else, you know what I mean? And that you're just always just nitpicking yourself. I think that just that, in that sense, that I still have those issues that I'm not changed yet, per se. I think one thing I have changed on is that just feeling like, I guess I have changed on my ability to want to get through the hard times. Like I said, like my biggest deal when I was suicidal was that I felt like I wasn't making no progress in life. Like nothing was going good for me. It was just everything was stagnant. And I think now I'm more starting to myself like, well, this is the process. Like I'm getting through the process. I've got to keep going day by day. And just that day-by-day mindset is what I feel like I have developed more so. Some advice I would give to someone that struggles with mental health or suicidal ideations. It would have to depend on the person, because I feel like each person is suicidal for their own reasons. Like I feel like it's cliche for me to be like, well, you have people that love and care for you, because some people that's not really the truth in some sense, you know? Like some people are really alone in life, and that's why I say, like, you know, again, going back to what I said earlier, it's just like, sometimes you just gotta do it for yourself. Like, if nobody loves you, you gotta love yourself. And like, I know that, you know, you might hear that a lot. And, you know, a lot of times you just push it off and brush it off because like, it sounds like BS, and like, you don't wanna hear that. But the truth is, like, that is the truth in general. Like, because let's be honest, nobody's gonna love you the way that you are gonna love yourself. Nobody's gonna know you the way you know yourself. Nobody's gonna push you the way you should push yourself. And so, like, for the person that has somebody truly, I think it's just like you do it for yourself. And for the person that does have somebody, it may not look like they always love you, or it may not seem like they're there for you, or like, you know, they might not be the perfect person for you, but let's be honest, like, nobody's perfect. You're not perfect. And like, I just feel like you should always understand that while I might not have a great person or a great relationship right now, you can still build one and still grow, and I still feel like they love you regardless. Like, your mom, your brother, whoever it is, they love you, and that you should understand that, and just, you know, do it for them, do it for yourself. Like, just love yourself personally. Even if it's anything, like, just find something just to indulge in, like something healthy, like find a hobby. I feel like that's what's something else that helped me, like finding my purpose in life. Find your purpose. I feel that's something that everybody that's suicidal is just, they're missing, like, their worth. And I feel like you gotta find your worth in something that you really love to do, whether it's like art, or whether it's being a lawyer, whether it's being anything in life. Just find your purpose and find your self-love.
I didn't know you were hurting that deep, carrying silence while I was just trying to sleep. You smiled when you had to, but I see it now, the weight you held in that furrowed brow. I didn't know your dreams felt so far, like chasing the sky but stuck where you are. Didn't know you felt like God went ghost, that hope was a stranger that you missed the most. I thought being your brother meant showing up tough, but now I know presence is more than enough. I missed some signs, I'll admit that clear, but I'm learning now, I'm still right here. I hate that I didn't act sooner, hate I let time slip like rumors, but I'm here now with open arms, not just to protect, but to understand your scars. You don't have to be perfect or strong all the time. You don't have to walk alone with mountains to climb. You're not broken, you're healing, and that takes grace. I see you, I love you, and I'm holding space. You're not alone, not then, not ever. We got this road, we'll walk it together. From pain to purpose, from night to sun, you're more than your lows, you're not done. So when the world gets loud and your light feels dim, let this poem remind you, I'm always with him. Sincerely, Big Bro.